Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Let Me Learn Ya, and in today's lesson, we are going to be learning how to stay full forever, for the rest of your life. Never feel hungry again. As God is my witness, I will never be hungry again. I had too much caffeine. That's the problem. If you were raised in the 80s, or you were raised by somebody who was raised in the 80s, or you were raised by somebody who was raised in the 80s who was raised by someone else in the 80s, you're screwed. Chances are you're somebody who has issues with staying full, because the 80s was when the glorious low-fat, non-fat, low-calorie, eating boiled stinking chicken breast with absolute, you son of a monkey, lettuce with no freaking dressing, drinking green smoothies and green juices.
Thousands of years later.
Non-fat cookie snacks, Olestra chips that would make you literally poop yourself. I think that's still around. Non-stop exercising, jazzercising, Jane Fonda, Alyssa Milano, Teen Spirit. Oh no, Teen Steam. Teen Steam. Gotta let it out. Gotta let it out. It is burned into my memory. Okay? Did those strategies work? Absolutely not. Because low fat plus low calorie equals freaking hungry. We are knowingly or unknowingly still living by those beliefs. And it shows, because we are starving. And people could say, are you kidding me, Lana? United States has the fattest people in the entire world. Actually, that's not true, and we're not even in the top 10. Google it. According to food companies that pour millions of dollars into research and development to find out what are your behaviors so they can target the hell out of you, we are snacking more than ever before. And the number one reason for snacking, I'm freaking hungry. I'm not even kidding you, you guys. Why would you be hungry from your previous meal? Because you didn't freaking eat enough, or you didn't eat strategically, which we'll get into. We eat less during our main meals, and therefore we're hungry before our next meal and we snack. You actually end up eating more throughout the day than if you would have just sat down and eaten enough food to keep you satiated. The problem is that we're using rules that were made up based out of guesses and opinions. You cannot blame construction workers for building a pile of crap house when you gave them blueprints that didn't make sense and tools that didn't work. And those tools and blueprints that we are still using to this day that are causing people to continue to fail at being healthy or being at a healthy weight or body size were not created based on actual evidence. Period. They were made and are continued to be regurgitated with one fatally huge flaw. They make the assumption that human beings are machines. So back in the day, they thought, well, this is a simple mathematical formula. Fat is a lot of calories. Excess calories leads to accumulation of fat on the body, excess weight. Exercise equals burning calories. So no fat plus hardly any food plus lots of exercise will equal weight loss. Bing! Problem solved. Thank you. I will take my Nobel Prize. Thank you so much. Mathematical equations work on robots, works on machines. Totally cool. But they do not work on biological organisms that can think and adapt and make changes based on its situation. You apply a formula to a robot or a machine and it's like, yep, well, that's what we're gonna do. You apply that same formula to a biological organism and that organism is like, F you, bitch, I'm gonna survive, or I don't like that, so I'm not gonna do it. You can take your formula and you can shove it. A machine or a robot doesn't start shutting down various metabolic processes that it deems unimportant to keep the machine or the robot alive on less energy. Those processes that are being cut down or shut off would not make a robot or a machine feel extremely tired, cranky, stressed, suffer from insomnia, and they would not increase the robot's hormones that cause it to be hungry and want to seek out food. All of these things, which we know can happen in a human who is drastically reducing their calories, and all of those symptoms I just mentioned, we actually know can cause people to want to eat more or overeat or binge eat. A robot would feel absolutely nothing when literally starved of, I don't know what, it's gasoline? What do robots eat? And then dropped it into an environment where it is constantly being exposed to extremely high calorie, high palatable, easy to get to, cheap, delicious foods nonstop all the time. All of these things happen to human bodies. Everything in a human body, when deprived of calories and nutrients, fights to get those calories and nutrients. You have probably experienced this, and you've probably beaten yourself up for it. But I'm here to tell you, it is not your fault. It's because you're doing things that don't work. It is not sustainable. It doesn't work. It freaking sucks. Blech. Hopefully by now you understand a couple things. Number one, your body is not a robot. Your body is not a machine. It does not like to have nutrients or calories withheld from it. It gets very, very angry because its main job is to literally keep you alive. And when you withhold food or you're starving, it is telling your body something is wrong. We've also established that a lot of the rules like super low calorie, low fat, is not sustainable, it doesn't freaking work, and these rules did not come from good science. It's literally just people making guesses about what should happen. And let me tell you, the majority of my life I was using these people's guesses and it never worked and I was freaking miserable, and chances are you are too. What do we know that is evidence-based? Well, number one, we know that highly restrictive diets do not work for the majority of individuals. Now, when I say highly restrictive diets, I'm not talking about being in a caloric deficit. I'm talking about eating below your resting metabolic rate, feeling hungry all the time, cutting out entire food groups. These are things that we know are not sustainable. You will initially lose weight. Nobody's arguing that. But you are also most likely going to hit a wall where you're no longer losing weight. You are not going to be able to sustain that weight loss. The second that you can't take it anymore and you break down, you're gonna gain it back. We also know this. You must be in a caloric deficit in order to lose weight. I will make a separate video on this because it deserves a separate video. It is not as easy as people claim it is. It's just a really big topic, and I will focus on that in another video. We also know that though you need to be in a caloric deficit to lose weight, your body fights being in a caloric deficit. So it is very important for you to not feel like you are in a caloric deficit. So how do you feel like you're not in a caloric deficit while being in a caloric deficit? Well, there's a few ways. Number one, small deficit, not cutting out 1,000 calories out of your diet or even 500 calories, but looking towards smaller, more maintainable deficits. Enjoy your food, because if you are not enjoying your food, it is not sustainable. And unfortunately, there's this belief that eating healthy means not enjoying your food. That belief is carried over from the 80s BS, where you had to eat boiled chicken breast and steamed broccoli. You can absolutely eat healthy, nutritious foods for your body while enjoying them. And if you enjoy your food and you're eating in a small deficit, it is sustainable. And lastly, what we're going to be talking about today is you just can't feel hungry all the time. You've got to feel satiated. So how do you feel full? By incorporating something that I like to call the triad of satiety. Protein, fat, and fiber with every stinking meal, with every stinking snack. So these guys not only help you to feel full in their own ways, but they also help with losing excess weight. So protein actually triggers anorexigenic hormones in your body and suppresses orexigenic hormones in your body. What are those things? Why do they sound so scary? Anorexigenic hormones promote satiety. They trigger your brain and other areas of your body to be like, we've had enough food, dude. Calm down. We're cool. Leptin would be considered more of an anorexigenic hormone, and ghrelin would be considered more of an orexigenic hormone. Ghrelin, which usually people remember it by being like, it growls, it's a monster. Ghrelin is an orexigenic hormone that tells your brain and other things in your body, we need food. We are freaking hungry. So protein increases levels of the hormones that tell you we're good, we can stop eating, and suppresses the hormones that say, no, we gotta eat. Pretty freaking cool, right? It's pretty freaking cool. So protein is great for something called diet-induced thermogenesis. And what that is basically the amount of energy that we use literally just to digest, absorb, and process our foods. And it is estimated that for protein, 20 to 30% of the calories you get from protein are actually used to digest protein. When people enter a caloric deficit, depending on the severity of that caloric deficit, they will lose lean muscle tissue along with the fat that they're losing. We do not want you losing lean muscle tissue because for various reasons. Increasing your protein when you're decreasing your calories has actually been shown to protect that lean muscle. How does fat help with feeling full and dieting and what have you? Number one, first and foremost, most important to me, is it makes shiz taste good, right? Come on, butter, y'all. Bacon fat, yum. Different fats have different flavors. Coconut oil versus olive oil versus peanut oil or sesame oil. If you are not enjoying your food because it doesn't taste good, remember what I mentioned before. It's not going to be sustainable. Studies have shown that just having the fat come into contact with your tongue starts triggering all different types of hormones and digestive enzymes and everything to not only prepare you for your meal, but also those anorexigenic hormones again. Fats stimulate hormones that promote satiety. Fat also slows gastric emptying. That is the rate at which food leaves your stomach and enters your small intestine, which means, again, the more stable your fats will be, your blood sugars will be, and you won't experience like a spike in blood sugar, which then immediately drops, and then you feel hungry and shaky and tired and all that stuff that makes you want to seek out more food. Now, here's what's really cool as well that will lead me into our next contender, because they work well together. They like to play together. They're really good friends. So dietary fat is usually absorbed in the duodenum, which is like the first part of the small intestine. But if it can make it past that and be absorbed in the nether regions of the small intestine, it elicits an even stronger feedback effect to tell the body, yo, dude, seriously, we need to chill. It increases even more so those anorexigenic hormones that we were talking about before. How do we get fat to be absorbed lower in the small intestine? I'm so glad you asked. Fiber. So fiber works in a few different ways. Number one, promoting satiety by helping fat to be absorbed lower in the small intestine. That by combining fat and fiber together, you've got super satiating power, my friends. Okay? Secondly, fiber displaces calories in a meal. You can't digest fiber, right? Your little microbes can, but they aren't going to get a lot of the calories out of fiber. So you are eating food that is causing your stomach to descend, that is filling and bulking up your intestine, all of which tells the brain and the body, we're good, we've got enough food, we're feeling full, without the calories. Fiber increases bulk and promotes viscosity. Viscosity, like stringy mucousy stuff, which slows gastric emptying. Because fiber slows gastric emptying, it also affects your blood sugar. It helps to stabilize your blood sugar. We know that fiber promotes digestive health. The better that your whole digestive system is working, the better you're going to be off, period. I know 80s crap is coming back because of Stranger Things, but can we not have these diet things come back? I've been noticing that, you guys. Things like Octavia, weight programs that were really popular in the 80s that we knew totally failed, making a comeback because they're generations of people who are completely unaware that they don't work. If you think that these ideas aren't still around, just go check out part 2 of my Noom review, where I dig into their nutrition and the lessons that they're teaching you guys, which are literally pulled from this low fat, low calorie, drink water to stay full nonsense. We know that it is not your fault. Okay, you were taught rules that don't work and then blamed for them not working. That is literal gaslighting, my friends. Y'all have been gaslit. And I have been too. And that's why I'm so mad about it. Your body doesn't like to be in a caloric deficit, and it will fight to the death. Can I say death on YouTube? Therefore, you have got to gently lead it into a caloric deficit without making it feel like, holy crap, we're starving, everybody batten down the hatches. And you can do this by staying full, by using little tricks like incorporating protein, fat, and fiber with every meal and snack. But how do you go about incorporating these into meals? Well, I'm here to help you, you guys. I'm always here to help you. Okay. First of all, just start by observing your food. When you look at your food, say, where's the fat, where's the protein, and where's the fiber? And you might start noticing that your diet heavily leans in one area or direction. I actually have handouts that you guys can download from my website that give you examples of snacks that include fiber, fat, and protein, that list out the top 5 foods highest in fat, fiber, and protein for omnivores, vegans, and vegetarians, so you can get some ideas from there. So by doing this, you will be increasing diet-induced thermogenesis, you will be sparing your lean muscle, you'll be increasing levels of anorexigenic hormones while decreasing levels of orexigenic hormones, you'll be slowing gastric emptying, you'll be stabilizing your blood sugar and promoting digestive health. I mean, my God, why not do it, you guys? It sounds almost too good to be true, except that it's not. And you'll also be enjoying your food and you won't feel like you are being deprived. I hope y'all enjoyed the lesson today. If you need extra help or support, as I mentioned, click the links in the description below. If you don't think they're helpful, come back and tell me how to make them more helpful. Thank you. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your week. If you try out this triad of satiety, let me know. Let me know how it works out. I wish y'all the best of luck, and I will see you next time. Why did I just sound like Beaker from the Muppets? Is that how he sounded? I don't know. Predict that, scientists, science bros, not cutting 1,000, you son of a bitch. So all that's nonsense and people are idiots, okay? They just are. I should probably do that again because that was stupid. That was stupid. Hello, is it me you're looking for? 'Cause I don't know where you are. This is why these are always so freaking long. Because I act like a damn fool. I act like a damn fool. Hello, friends. No, because I suck. Your stomach breaking it down, doing this, that's what your stomach does. It goes,